up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on. You stand in the line just to hit a new low. You're faking the smile with the coffee to go.
Hello. Thank you for tuning in to the Wellness Report with Helen. I'm your host, Helen Pendleton. And thank you for tuning in on this Martin Luther King Day. And I have a beautiful quote by Dr. King. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what do you do for others? So I ask you all to ask yourself that question. What do you do to help others in your life? And that is what helps you prosper and stay strong. So here on the Wellness Report with Helen, we have a great show lined up for you today. I have some great and wonderful guests, and hopefully they can help you with your wellness and to strengthen your life and body, mind, and spirit. Happy New Year to you all. We're here. It's 2017. It's a great year. 7 is the number of completion, so I'm looking forward to blessings, and I'm blessed by the best. And I have started a 21-day challenge, no sugar for 21 days. So pray for me regarding that. And so I've done no sugar, limited my carbs, and so far I've lost 6 pounds, and it's been since the 3rd. So that has been a blessing. So I'm asking you all to hold me accountable and help me with this journey. And you can do that by, as always, emailing me at thewellnessreport@yahoo.com. And I'm also under my name, Helen Pendleton, on YouTube, where you can see this show if you are not able to watch it live. You know, we have so many different streams where you can watch the show via internet and Roku. It's a lot of different avenues. So I'm wishing you wellness. I'm wishing you prosperity this year, and that you would get everything that you're hoping for. We have a great show lined up today. We have Dewan Smith, who is with DMC, and he is a transition discharge coordinator, and he's also a social worker. He's a graduate degree holder from Eastern Michigan University. I'm trying to get all this right, but you know this is live TV, unedited, so you're gonna see some bleeps and blunders, but that's the beauty of live TV. I love it. So after the break, we're going to take a short break. I thank my wonderful sponsor, ARC Toxicology Laboratories in Waterford, for making this possible. And I love working with that organization. They give me my independence. It's a great organization to work with, as well as a list of other supporters that I have as well. And just give us we're going to take a short break for station identification, and then we'll be back with our guest, Dewan Smith. Thank you.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on.
And welcome back to the Wellness Report with Helen. I am so honored to have today my guest, Dewan Smith, who is with DMC. He's a social worker. He's a corporate director of transitional care services. He has over 20 years of experience. I have personally worked with him, so I know the good that he does for Southeast Michigan. And I am honored to have him here as my guest today. Welcome, Dewan.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. There's so much I want to talk about, because social workers are kind of like the fabric of what we do in wellness and healthcare. They kind of see the bad that nobody wants to deal with. So it's important that we at least first know what social workers do and what they're expected to do. Can you kind of briefly explain that, Dewan?
Well, I equate social work, particularly in the healthcare system, as a kind of a utility person. One of the things that we struggle with a lot in Metro Detroit is trying to provide services for the community. So from a hospital standpoint, one of the main things that social workers do is provide services after patients are discharged, connect families together, and try to figure out the best social functioning for patients after they're discharged from the healthcare system.
That's great. Okay, so when I say the term wellness, what does that mean to you in terms of social work?
Well, wellness means a few different things. I think patients or individuals have the responsibility of taking care of themselves. Wellness can be eating right, can be living right, going to church on a consistent basis.
Yes, definitely.
Going to church on a consistent basis, having a great relationship with their family members, but overall taking care of themselves for their overall health and wellness.
Yes.
So.
And that brings me to my next question, because I know it's challenging, especially in Southeast Michigan and some of the lower income areas, to eat properly. And I know I'm on a no sugar detox, and that's very difficult if you don't have a lot of the means to meet the requirements for that detox. And I know that we live in a lot of food deserts and areas that don't have the proper fruit produce, just pretty much the minimum apples, oranges, bananas. So what can you say to help those individuals that want to eat right and they don't have the resources?
Well, I think one of the things that you have to do is plan out your time. And I know that's when you start talking about eating, I think one of the things that hurts people the most part is they wait for the last minute to actually eat.
Yes.
You have to plan out your meals sometimes hours, days, or even weeks in advance so that you are not stuck in a situation where you have to run out to McDonald's so you're so tired, so you're so hungry right now that you have to eat immediately.
Yes.
I think one of the things you have to do is you have to identify proper food nutrition, you have to plan accordingly, and you have to package it up so that you're eating a very balanced meal. So that's one of the things that you need to do. Unfortunately, because we live in the city of Detroit, there's not access to healthy foods. You may have to go a little farther in order to get that food, but when you're talking about long-term health, it's important that you plan accordingly.
Yeah. And we do have a lot more resources in the city of Detroit. We have Whole Foods, and then we have the Eastern Market, which is available on the weekends. But it's still an issue with money.
Right.
And a lot of people can't afford those things, but those are available to you. And I found that it's and I don't know if you agree, but it's getting more cheaper to eat healthy. It's not as expensive as it used to be.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, some of the demographics of the city of Detroit is changes to some degree. And with that, there comes a little bit more resources that are available to the community. I think one of the things that we have to do is we have to make a concerted effort to get to those resources. And you're right, food prices are down a little bit more than they used to be. But, Apple, it's like they say, apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple is about $1.
Yeah.
So, there are fruits and vegetables. I think one of the things that we have to do, in this community is kind of look at our diet from an African American perspective and say, listen, are we eating as healthy as we can be? Is there some other avenues that we can actually eat? There's some other food choices that we can actually make. And, and some of that changes in diet can be reduction of how much butter you're putting into a product or how much oil you're putting into a product. So there's a lot of different ways to actually adjust your diet using the same thing you always use, just a little bit less.
Yeah.
And sometimes just portion control becomes a big part of it. As opposed to filling up your plate, maybe take, one less or two less spoonfuls than you normally would have.
Right.
So
that takes a lot of willpower.
it takes a lot of willpower, but I think the thing about it is just like when you start looking at long-term health, you have to be conscious of how much you're taking in and the effects it's having on your overall health.
And just like me, I am not the picture of health, but I ask you to hold me accountable. And I'm doing it 21 days at a time, you guys. So I'm not looking for any, results that's going to be fast. I want to make this a lifestyle change. So I think you have to make a commitment. Okay, do you just want to lose 10 pounds or do you want to change your wellness over your lifetime? And I want to be healthy for the rest of my life. So, I'm going to do it 21 days at a time. So I think that's a good way to look at it. Can I ask you, what is the biggest challenges that your clients face? Because I know you deal with a lot of inner city people and probably in other areas too. But what do you think that they all have in common or the biggest challenges they face?
I think one of the biggest problems not only say problem, I say challenges this community have is overall health literacy. I think when you start talking about your overall diet, I think, patients or the community taking more responsible. And when I say responsibility, I mean individual responsibility for their overall health.
Yes.
I think we, no disrespect to our next guest, but we have, to most degree, a lot of patients or a lot of the community rely on their physicians for their overall health. They rely on a call from their physician as to, their test results, or they rely on their physicians for a lot of different things. And I think the more you can understand what your overall health is, meaning, if you're diabetic, understanding what having diabetes mean, and understanding, do I take my blood sugar when I'm supposed to, and my diet's the most appropriate, and really understanding what your overall, and that's what I mean when I say health literacy. How much do you know about your overall health, and how much responsibility are you taking for your overall health? I think one of the things, doctors are humans, and they have a lot of patients, and they do an incredible job of taking care of our individual patients, and I couldn't imagine some of the things they do. But I think the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to help our doctor manage our own health outcomes.
Right.
So,
I agree. And that's why, they have programs in place like chronic care management, which was implemented by CMS. And the reason for this pilot program was to assist the doctors in kind of like patient care coordinating. And between visits, to get in touch with the patient and see what they need. So if they would need a nutritionist or things like that, they can give that information back to the provider and let them know that's what they need. So I like programs like that that are really seeming to help and support doctors, because everything can't be on the shoulders of the doctor. And that's what the old method was like, and I think that it's changing, and I'm really, really grateful for that. So I know that our wellness or lack of contributes to a lot of illnesses. And I just want to know, what suggestions do you have for people with chronic illnesses on things that they can do at home to help them?
As mentioned before, diet. I think diet's a big part of it, and understanding your overall health and how, based on your particular disease, what do you need to do to educate yourselves on that particular disease. Like I say, a lot of people rely a little bit more on their physicians, but the more you can know about your individual chronic disease, and really that goes back to just, you can go up to the library, you can, have someone come in to kind of talk to you a little bit about your individual health, but gaining as much knowledge as possible. And I think one of the single biggest things that a person can do is get a primary care provider.
Right.
Get a primary care provider who is intimately involved in your overall health, and you guys have a partnership as far as what your overall health is, and dealing with those chronic issues. The more of you can have a relationship with your primary care provider, the better off you'll be, and really your overall health will be. And when I say overall health, I mean mental health as well. I think one of the things that contribute to physical health is your overall mental makeup. And a lot of people are homebound, chronically ill, and mental illness also creeps in. The issues with depression, anxiety.
Yes.
So I think that there's a lot of things that individually you can do to take responsibility for your overall health. And I think getting a primary care is probably the single biggest thing that you can do.
I agree. And if you don't have a primary care provider, please contact me. We can get you one. And I want you all to know that it is your choice who your primary care physician is, because a lot of people don't know that. I mean, even if you're in a network and your insurance, you have to pick from a list. It's still your choice. You can choose who you want to be your primary care physician. So if you don't have a primary care physician, or if you need more resources, please contact my company, Quality Professional Consulting, and we can help you with that. And any other resources that you need that are seen on this show, you can reach us at 248-308-6692. You can also reach me at the Wellness Report at yahoo.com if you want to try me via email. This is really a platform for everyone, especially in Southeast Michigan. We reach about 8 million people on this station. So if you don't have resources, then you know that you can call or contact me, and we'll try to get you someone. So it's important when you have a business you want to promote, or we want to help you and support you. So contact us. And let me know if there's anything that I can help to support your business. As long as you're doing something right and it's a part of wellness, then I'm all for it. And wellness means mind, body, and spirit as far as I'm concerned. So long as it's something that's promoting positive things. And that brings me to, Dewan, I want to know exactly what your companies are or what you do? I know that you work with DMC, but I'm sure you're independent and you're an entrepreneur. So what else, what services can you provide?
I just want to speak a little bit about the DMC services. The DMC actually has a primary care services that they do offer. It's called Gateway. So that's an avenue where you actually can go into Detroit Receiving Hospital or go into Sonny Gray Hospital, and it can provide you with some primary care services. Some of the other things that I'm involved with personally is I have a private mental health practice.
Yes, and I work with him, so I know that he does really good. And the patients that I've sent him, they love him. So I'm just speaking on familiar ground.
So we, you know, I deal with a lot of the elderly patient population where we have issues with depression, and I do provide some social work services in the way of resources. So I've been doing that for probably about 11 years, and I love it. You know, it's an avenue to actually connect with the people. It is social work. And it's an opportunity to talk to patients in their home and provide them with services, which I really enjoy. And also based on some of the issues that we're having in the community, I have a transportation service that we're starting to provide services so that we can transport patients to and from a lot of organizations. A lot of people don't know your insurance will cover transportation service to your primary care physician, to your doctor's office.
That's a good point.
You're a pharmacist, anything that has anything related to your overall health. If you have a Medicaid HMO, they'll more likely provide you with services, in some cases, dialysis on a regular basis. So it's important that you also, as far as the education, also look at back at your insurance card and also try and figure out what additional services you may have available that you may not be aware of. And that's also one of the things that I try to do when I go into the home, in addition to the mental health counseling. I try and provide services that they may not be aware of in the community to patients and try and improve the overall health.
Well, you've done a great thing, and like I said, I know personally people that have really given Mr. Smith accolades. Not to toot your horn, I know you're very modest, but it's just, you know, I mean, when you have people call you back and say, thanks for sending Mr. Smith to my home, I don't know what I would do without him, that's truly a blessing. And so I appreciate you, and thank you for being an ambassador for Southeast Michigan.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm from the Detroit metropolitan area. I was born and raised here, so I feel like in a lot of ways it's my responsibility to provide services or help to the community. I'm really invested here. I've lived here all my life. Like I said, I went to high school here. Can I get my number?
Yeah, sure.
My number, I can be reached. My cell phone, my direct cell phone number is 313-686-0202. It's 313-686-0202. Give me a call, and if I can provide any services, or if you may know anybody who may be interested, give me a call.
And for people that don't like to talk, do you have an email address that you would like to give?
It is, yes, it is COGAA@me.com. COGAA@me.com.
Okay, so thank you guys. And we'll be right back. We'll take a minute for station identification, and we'll be right back with our next guest, Dr. John Trotter II.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on. You stand in the line just to hit a new low. You're faking a smile with the coffee to go. And tell me your life's.
Welcome back to the Wellness Report with Helen. I'm your host, Helen Pendleton. And as I said, we have a great show lined up today. And I hope that you got a chance to watch DeJuan Smith, the social worker that came through. Oh, he gave a lot of good, knowledgeable information. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. John Trotter II, he has so many accolades. I don't have time to say all of them, but he's an undergraduate of Howard University. He received his medical degree at George Washington University School of Medicine, where he graduated with honors. And he's done so much human services around the world, not to just mention Southeast Michigan, but all over. So I am glad to welcome Dr. John Trotter II.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you so much for having me. Happy New Year's and happy Martin Luther King Day to everyone. It's just an honor and privilege to be here.
Okay, thank you so much. You know I got a lot of questions for you, Dr. Trotter, so I hope you ready for me.
I am ready.
Okay. When you hear everything we heard, like from DeJuan Smith, was about your doctor, see your doctor, primary care physician. They need to approve everything, so everything is pointed towards you.
Yes.
So when you hear the word wellness, what do you think of? What does that mean to you?
To me, it means preventative health. And so my father luckily was a doctor here serving the community for 35 years, and I had the privilege and honor to take over in 2008 and help serve.
Yes.
And so to me, people are dying too early.
Yes.
And that's from heart disease right now, cancer, diabetes, the silent killers. So wellness is your overall wellness of your body and trying to live longer and have a happy, healthy life and great activities of daily living.
So what I hear you saying, Dr. Trotter, that it's just not about health. It's about your spirit, it's about your mindset, and other things as well, you
Yes.
know? So it's overall. And a lot of people think when you say wellness, it's just about your health and getting fit. It's about your mindset, too, because you got to have a certain mindset in order to do those other things,
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. And a lot of people are starting the new year with resolutions like me, myself, no sugar. I'm going to keep reminding you guys, I'm on no sugar for 21 days. I'm on day 14 today. Praise God, because it has been
Congratulations.
difficult. The first 7 days I experienced headaches and withdrawal.
Yes.
So it was difficult. But once I got past that, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So what advice would you give to people that are starting New Year's resolutions?
Mine was actually losing weight as well. It starts with diet and exercise. And so, low salt, low fat, low cholesterol diet. Diabetes is a silent killer, and that's huge in the African American communities. It's a silent killer where the first sign of heart attack is actually death. There's really no pre-warning signs.
Right.
And so you really want to make sure that you have your sugar at a normal level. That actually leads to coagulation and heart problems, as well as your blood pressure. I would recommend that everyone takes their blood pressure maybe 3 times a day, because that's another silent killer. So really diet and exercise. My philosophy is do whatever you want to do. If you're doing walking 30 minutes, swimming, anything, do 30 minutes a day. It helps burn fat. And then if you need cholesterol pills, that's a good one to do. That helps at nighttime, and that helps decrease your cholesterol as well.
Oh, okay. So if you don't know, the test that you would ask your doctor for as far as your blood sugar would be a hemoglobin A1C test. And that tests your blood sugar, I believe it's over a 90-day period, right?
Yeah, so first we look at your glucose, and we want your sugar level to be at around 100 is normal. The highest I've ever seen is maybe like 1700, and that's where a person's just going into a real like glucose shock. But normal, it's 100. And then the hemoglobin A1C tests your glucose for about a 3 to 6 month period of time. So it gives us an average of the last 3 to 6 months where you are, and usually we want that below 7. So around 6 is a good number for us.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he knows all the particulars about that. But I do know the name of the test. So if you want to get tested for that, then you can ask your doctor to perform that test, and your insurance should cover that test as well. And you would take it, I believe, every quarterly, correct?
Quarterly. And also cholesterol is a great one. We want to look at your total cholesterol to make sure that's in a range of around 200. We want to look at your LDL, which is your low density cholesterol, which is your bad one. You want your good cholesterol, your HDL, to be at a high number. And so those factors help, to me, again, preventing like heart attack, stroke, and things like that. So sugar and cholesterol are huge numbers.
Okay. So what about people that want to eat right, and like I said, they're on a budget, they live in a food, desert area, and they don't really have all that produce? What would you recommend when they just don't have the means? And I know that Dr. Trotter is one of the few doctors that accepts people that don't have insurance coverage, and he tries to help in the community and not just make it about what he can get paid. So that's why I'm asking him this question, because I'm wondering, if you don't have the resources, then what do you do?
Yeah, so to me, it's simple. It's you want to do less fried foods, and so more fish, chicken that's not fried, Vegetables are huge. Soup is great as long as it doesn't have, a high salt content. And so more simple things. I always recommend that you just nibble on food. So for me, I do maybe 6 very small meals a day. I don't do large meals. Also, you don't want to eat everything on the plate. As soon as you feel like you're full, you just stop eating at that moment.
Okay.
So that's a good thing too.
Okay, so what about frozen vegetables as opposed to fresh? Because some people don't have access to the fresh produce. So if they were able to get frozen and keep them, is that okay as
Yes,
well?
I think as long as you're doing something in that direction, it's positive. So obviously the fresh is the best, and now organic, and you look into what are the animals eating that's in your food. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but I think as long as you start in the right direction, then you'll do fine. So if you have frozen, do frozen. Whatever you can do to make that difference in your life.
Yes, so it's better to eat frozen than nothing at all. So you need those vegetables. Eat your vegetables. I keep telling you guys, you got to eat your vegetables. Okay, so you got the low carb diet, you got the low fat diet, you got the no carb diet, you got the no sugar.
Yes.
Is there any that's better, or should you just do like everything in moderation? What do you recommend?
Moderation. So for me, also vitamins are great. Your vitamin A helps your eye function. Your vitamin B's help your brain and energy. Vitamin C helps lung and heart, and vitamin D. And in Michigan, we're very deficient in vitamin D because of the weather.
Yes.
So you want supplements. There's sometimes you can take a vitamin B shot that helps your energy level. So vitamins are great. Also herbals. I'm into herbals. The ginkgo biloba helps the brain function. The omega acids are great. They help your heart and brain. And then
Okay.
there's something called krill oil, which is 1,000 times more potent than omega, that helps your heart and brain. So things like that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So that you're proactive, because that was my next question. What about vitamins? There's so many choices. So you've heard that. So you guys got to take vitamins. I know sometimes we don't like to, and sometimes I'm guilty myself of skipping a day or two, but pretty much overall I do try to. And what about probiotics? Because I do take
Yes.
probiotics.
Yes,
So
and that's the new thing, and that's something I might personally take myself. Probiotics to help your intestine system work smoothly. Also, I'm hearing things of, they have the probiotics, the new biotics, things that cleanse pounds of fat from you. I think that might be a good idea. I might start on that. You want to kind of do a tox or cleanse yourself out, because like I said, the more ingredients you can cleanse out, that helps decrease your cholesterol level and gives you more energy. So that would be a good start.
okay, that's great. Okay, so do you recommend any supplements or meal replacements? Because I know a lot of people, I've tried them before, they don't particularly work for me, but I do have a NutriBullet. So if I don't have time in the morning to, and I'm not promoting NutriBullet by the way, but it is a great product. But what I'm saying is that sometimes when I'm rushing in the morning, I'll just throw everything in there and then give it a spin and take it on the go. So is that something you recommend?
Yeah, I do.
Or,
And I
okay.
recommend you can put a lot in there if you're putting vegetables in there, every ingredient, because it actually helps your body absorb quicker, because your body has to take a lot of time to break down the food.
Yeah,
in
digest
your,
it.
Yeah, exactly, in your stomach or intestines. So if you're able to do that process forward in a NutriBullet or something that grinds it down, it's better for you.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the first thing that we should do when we consider changing the things for our wellness? And what I mean from that, I don't mean just from a doctor perspective. I mean as far as our total life. Like, it might be a spiritual element, it might be a physical element. What do you think we
Yes.
should do in all
Well,
aspects?
First, obviously, I put God first. So going to church, having a relationship with Jesus or Holy Ghost or whoever you have, you need a spiritual relationship. Some people are into meditation where they can relax, because it's a very stressful environment with our climate and economy. That's first. Second, go see a doctor, any type of doctor, because a lot of things are prevention. So, for example, cancers, if cervical cancer prevention starts at 21. You have colon cancer prevention starts at 40. Breast cancer prevention 40, where they might do a CAT scan. You might want to do a PSA prostate. A lot of African American men, that's around 40, where they do the digital rectal exam. They do the PSA. So you want to screen for cancers early, decrease smoking, because that has higher risk factors, and decrease
Or just cut out
drinking.
the smoking totally.
Yes.
We don't want you doing that.
I usually say 1 cigarette less a day. So if you're in a pack, take 1 cigarette less, and then the day after take 2 less, and go down in a systematic process. But always decrease in moderation, because like we said, it's hard for your body to completely adjust, but if you do it over time, your body adapts.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds good. So it's just been a blessing to be here today, especially on Martin Luther King Day. This is just a landmark day. I will never forget. The first show for the first year was on Martin Luther King Day. So it's been just totally an honor. And I want to give Dr. Trotter an opportunity to give any shout outs that he wants to give out. And I know that he is a primary care physician. Your specialty is internal medicine?
Yeah, so I was trained in general surgery, and my father was family practice, so I took over. So we have family practice and multi-specialty. In my surgery skills, I've gotten also into the auto accident industry. So we do a lot of auto accidents where we do procedures of the spine, the cervical thoracic spine, where we do minimally invasive surgeries. We do the normal injection therapies, and we can treat people head to toe auto. So I do primary care as well as auto.
So if you've been in an auto accident, make sure you call Dr. Trotter, because he's the man, okay? And then he also has this Grace Family Health Center.
Yes, and that was started by my father, and it was for people who did not have insurance. And so we still take people who don't have insurance for very low rates. And, you know, with the economy and the changing of the healthcare, this might be a great thing. So we're always here to serve the community. So I can give, we're online. I have a website, drjohntrotter.com. My office manager, we are at 8 Mile in Greenfield, right next to the Northland Medical Building. And our number there is 248-559-7730. Office manager is Karina. And then for the auto accidents, the office manager is Amanda, and that number is 248-327-7705. And we're located also in Southfield, in between 11 and 12 Mile. So
yeah. Okay, so if you didn't get all of that because, you know, you went to grab you a healthy snack, I hope, not unhealthy snack, then you can reach me always at 248-308-6692 or on the wellness report at yahoo.com, and I will definitely make sure that you are in line with Dr. Trotter, and hopefully he can help you. He does amazing things in Southeast Michigan, and he's another ambassador for Southeast Michigan and really worldwide, because he hasn't just limited his giving to Southeast Michigan. So as I said in a quote earlier today from MLK, what have you done for others? I had guests on here that are absolutely doing a lot for others, as well as myself, because I do this show. It's weekly. Monday, we had a special for today. It was an hour, but typically it's Monday, 12:30 to 1, every Monday, and you can reach us on Comcast 90 and 91, as well as online, and I'm sure they have all that information posted for you on the channel. And every week we'll be here and we'll be talking straight wellness. That's what we do. So I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back and give a shout out to my sponsors. So we'll be back in a minute, and thanks for watching the Wellness Report with Helen.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone away, and I don't need no carrying on. You stand in the line just to hit a new low.
Hi, and welcome back to the Wellness Report with Helen. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to our first show. 2017 is going to be a blessed year for us. I want to thank my guest again, DeJuan Smith with DMC, and Dr. John Trotter II, for coming in to help us as we work on wellness and have a lifetime of wellness. And that's what I wish for you as well as myself. Remember to hold me accountable for those 21 days of no sugar, which I'm down 14 days. I only really got 7 days. So pray for me as I go through the 7 days. I just want to thank and give a special thanks to ARC Laboratories, who is my major sponsor for this show. If it were not for them, I would not be able to do this show. So I thank them for helping us spread the word of wellness in Southeast Michigan, to help people at no cost, to help people and give them free information. So I am thankful to ARC Laboratories, a great company. If you are a provider out there and you want to know a lab that is a good quality lab to work with, then you need to contact me so I can get you linked up with a great lab. And again, my contact information is 248-308-6692. And my company is Quality Professional Consulting, where we do medical consulting. So if there's any things that you have that you need in the healthcare industry. See, that's the beauty of live TV. You make mistakes. I make mistakes, but I'm human. So if you have anything you need, I mean, as far as human resources, if you need staff for your company, then contact us. Once again, that's 248-308-6692. I would like to thank Glory Visiting Physicians with Dr. Sharice Valentine, who is someone that I've worked with for years, and she's a great person, a great company. If you are homebound and you're in need of a doctor, we can put you in contact with her. Grace Oakland Assisted Living, who's also helps with the show a lot. They take homebound people and they live there, residents live there. It's a great facility. I like to thank Dr. Sitar, who is one of the greatest cardiologists in the city of Detroit, and a personal colleague and friend of mine. So if you need a good cardiologist, then contact me as well so I can put you in contact with Dr. Sitar. It's so many people that I want to thank. I want to thank my better half, John. He knows who he is. I want to thank my son, Elijah. I definitely want to thank my producer, Sean, who is the best producer on this side of heaven. And I want to thank my brother, Sean, and my mother and all of the McKinnon family. My uncle, Ike McKinnon, who was the former deputy mayor for the city of Detroit, who has retired and gave over 50 years of public service to this city. And I just want to thank him for being a great influence in my life and helping me and molding me to be the woman that I am today. Hopefully I didn't forget anyone. I will have today's show on my YouTube channel, and where you can watch it if you do not have Comcast or any other means to get in touch with us. Once again, thank you, and you have a blessed day. And thanks for watching the Wellness Report with Helen. We'll see you next Monday at 12:30.
Where is the moment we need it the most? You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. Tell me your blue skies fade to gray. Tell me your passion's gone.